So a former top Pentagon official under President Obama is now warning that the U.S. and this administration is paralyzed in its fight against ISIS. Lieutenant General Michael Flynn retired as Obama's Defense Intelligence Agency chief, the head of the DIA. He stepped down in April. And he said this, quote, "You cannot defeat an enemy you do not admit exists. They, the Obama administration, want us to think that our challenge is dealing with an undefined set of violent extremists or merely lone wolf actors with no ideology or network. But that's just not the straight truth. Our adversaries around the world are self-described Islamic militants." And he is not alone in that assessment. Retired four-star General Jack Keane also testified before a Senate committee on this threat yesterday. He is the chairman of the Institute for the Study of War and, of course, a Fox News military analyst. General, good to have you with us today, as always.
Good
Welcome.
to be here, Martha.
So you spoke to them yesterday about your assessment of what is going on out there, and it is blistering to hear from a former Obama administration official that this group in the White House simply does not understand this threat.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with every statement that you just read there from General Flynn. Yeah, the facts are, not only do we not accurately name radical Islam, we choose not to define it, nor explain its ideology. And then the most critical thing of all, Martha, we have no strategy to stop it and no strategy to defeat it. And that was the essence of the testimony that the three flag officers were making yesterday to the Senate Armed Services Committee. And I believe there was bipartisan support after listening to us that they agreed that we don't have this right and we've got to fix it.
That's a powerful thing. So you showed them a map, and I want to pull the map up, and I want to leave it up for a little while you explain it, because it is a little hard for people to see at home. But take us through what we're looking at, and let's leave it up for the duration of General Keane discussing this.
When you look at this map, it's not possible for anyone to claim that current U.S. policy or strategy are succeeding. Because why? Look at the red on the map. The red indicates where al-Qaeda and its affiliates, radical Islam, is spreading from Western Africa in the Middle East all the way to Southern Asia. That expansion has increased fourfold in the last 5 years. The green, dark green is Iran, and the light green is difficult for people to see because of the size of the countries. They are increasing in their dominance, control, and influence of other countries in the regions, all radical Islam. And what that is, Beirut, Lebanon, Damascus, Syria, Baghdad, Iraq, truth be known, and now Sana'a in Yemen, and obviously supporting Hamas in the Gaza Strip. And the other thing that represented in black in the center of the map is ISIS itself in Iraq and Syria. ISIS began just around 2011 when we were pulling out of Iraq. Their numbers were less than 3,000. As we began to campaign against them, most analysts believe their numbers exceed over 30,000. So they grew 10 times in 3 years. Yeah. So what we are looking at is radical Islam's expansion in the region, in South Asia, in Africa, and its menacing threat not only to the region but to other countries.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the attacks in Paris and the discussion that ISIS has a lot about further attacks in Europe, you can make an argument that this is clearly a global war on the scale of what we saw when we fought the Nazis in World War II. They were in North Africa, they were in Europe. It was a multi-theater effort. I guess, you know, if the president doesn't look at it that way, what is the danger?
Well, the danger is we're going to see increased domination of countries by radical Islam, and they will export that out of the region to hurt, kill people in Europe who are sympathizing with their geopolitical views as well as the United States. When looking at the map, if we asked our viewers, what would you do about a problem like that? And you see all the countries involved. I think most of them would say, well, let's get the countries organized. Let's develop a strategy, a comprehensive strategy to do something about this. Similar to what we did dealing with communist ideology in World War II. We developed alliances, both political and military, to deal with a common threat.
General, I got to go, but the White House says they've done exactly that. They say we have 40 countries that are on our side. Many of them are Muslim countries. How do you answer that quickly if you can?
They're not dealing with the entire threat. That's what they put together to help with ISIS in Iraq and Syria. We need a comprehensive strategy. Otherwise, we fight ISIS now. 2 years from now, we'll fight somebody else. 3 years, we'll be fighting someone else. We need a comprehensive strategy to deal with the whole of it, not just a piece of it.
General, thank you very much. Obviously, conversation to be continued. Thank you, sir.